Bienvenue tous. Welcome to this special programme featuring the very best of reporters. This year we've brought you reports from all 5 continents, and in this special edition we've selected 7 of the highlights of the year. We've got a report from Kenya, the new crossroads of the world, a drug trafficking problem. Chile, where the people have risen up against their government. China, where repression of the Muslim Uyghurs has shocked the world. And of course we feature the human suffering of the migrants trying to reach Europe, trapped in unthinkable limbo in Libya. But our 2019 special starts in Syria, the prison camps where jihadists are held, as their countries of origin still can't decide what to do with them. This compilation put together by Sylvain Rousseau.
In Syria, the war against the Islamic State group is coming to an end. However, pockets of resistance still exist, and every day Kurdish fighters have to manage more and more refugees and prisoners. Today, thousands of men, women, and children are stranded in the Al-Hol camp in northeastern Syria. The most dangerous section of all is the one reserved to female foreign jihadists.
Can you just ask them to veil?
Mathilde is disappointed with her experience in the so-called caliphate, but she is still attracted to the concept of an Islamic State.
S'il y a un État islamique, oui, effectivement, oui. Les personnes doivent émigrer vers cette terre musulmane.
As for suicide attacks,
Alors ça, tout dépend de votre intention et tout dépend comment vous faites votre opération martyr. Parce que faire une opération martyr en tuant des civils, je ne suis pas sûre que vous ayez je ne sais pas si si c'est considéré comme une opération martyr ou pas. Enfin, quand je dis le martyr, nous, dans l'islam, quand vous dites que vous êtes martyr, c'est automatiquement que vous êtes au paradis.
compared to some others here, Mathilde is actually quite moderate. Off camera, many women tell us the most radical amongst them wreak terror in the camp.
لو سمعوا الدواعش وعرفوا ألمي حيذبحوني أنا وأطفالي وبنتي الكل ما حد ينفعني بعدين أنا بس تغير لي الصوت أمانة بننام بالليل إحنا بننام بالليل كل وحدة لازم ما تبين عقيدتك يعني أنت ما تحب الدولة ما تبينها أي شيء
خافوا
من يحرق لنا خيامنا ترسل ابنها صغير يشد ولاعة وصرف وجاز وهي قماش يعني ويحرق لك الخيمة.
I'm over 1 year here and 1 year 3 months. Every second day, tent goes on fire. I'm paranoid, you know? I am not ISIS. I am not a terrorist. I just came here to really help the nation. I didn't come here to kill someone.
المشكلة النية. هلا على الحكي يعني الإنسان بيحكي بس النية اللي بالقلب ما بنعرف يعني. هاي المشكلة هاي يعني بدها اختصاصية. وهم لما سلموا حالهم الدولة الإسلامية قالت لهم يعني سلموا حالكم بعدين بترجعوا لدولتكم بتقووا حالكم مرة ثانية بنرجع مرة ثانية نشتغل.
Despite the heavy shelling of northeastern Syria by Turkish forces, many female foreign jihadists are still detained in the Al-Hol camp. Their countries of origin are only now slowly repatriating them. In the name of the fight against terrorism, China has turned the whole of Xinjiang province into a gigantic police state with internment camps at every corner. Thousands of Uyghurs, members of a Turkish-speaking Muslim minority, are held here against their will to be forcefully indoctrinated. After more than a year in one of these camps, Gulbahar Celilova eventually found refuge in Turkey.
In the cells, Gulbahar says conditions were difficult, with a lack of basic hygiene, water and food. She also says she was subjected to brainwashing. They wanted her to give full allegiance to the Communist Party.
Once a week, they showed us a video of Xi Jinping. Then they told us to write assessments on ourselves. They wanted to make sure our ways of thinking changed and improved. Every Monday at 9:55, we had to stand up and sing the Chinese national anthem. For the rest of the week, we had to sing 5 songs every day. Oh, I've forgotten the rest.
Chile, Chile, Chile. Na 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 na.
We sang this kind of song. If we didn't sing, they didn't give us any food. And then they punished us.
NGOs estimate that over 1 million Uyghurs live in captivity in 100 camps across the country. These deserted streets bear witness of the largest mass incarceration of the 21st century. In 2013, Edward Snowden leaked top-secret documents revealing the NSA's illegal mass surveillance programs. Following the leak, the whistleblower became the world's most wanted man. For 13 days, he was on the run in the streets of Hong Kong, sheltered by a group of refugees.
Since then, they've been hounded by Hong Kong authorities. Arrested on several occasions, they've been questioned about their ties to Edward Snowden. The little support they received from the government was cut.
We lost the home, we go somewhere, I remember we brought them on the street and we sleep different places. We are asylum seekers, so Hong Kong anytime can deport anybody to their own country.
Supun fled Sri Lanka because of political persecution. Nadika because she was sexually abused. Today, they're afraid for their children, born in Hong Kong and stateless.
They know how they know how life in Hong Kong or my country. A very unsafe.
Every single minute we are danger. Every single minute you can see we go outside, we need to go 4 people together.
They could have written an email to the CIA, you know, and they could have gotten checks for whatever they wanted. They could have finally, gotten asylum and had no problems whatsoever. But they would have had to do it by selling someone into a grave. And for that, I'll never be able to repay them.
The former CIA employee has since found refuge in Russia, but his residency permit is due to expire in 2020. He's asked for asylum to many countries, including to France. In the United States, he faces up to 30 years behind bars. This year also marks the 75th anniversary of the Normandy landings. On June 6, 1944, more than 150,000 Allied troops hit the French coast to liberate Europe from Nazi Germany. 150,000 destinies that came together to fight in the name of freedom.
At this point, during D-Day, Harold Angle had not yet reached Normandy. His particular battalion was part of the second wave, the army units sent into battle inland.
When I was first inducted, they stamped my paperwork for the U.S. Navy. And lo and behold, the next morning, I was on that troop train going to a U.S. Army location. So I couldn't understand how it got mixed up. But I had an idea that because of the amount of soldiers that were killed and wounded in the D-Day invasion, that they probably needed more replacements.
Lawrence, the aviator, survived his 30th mission, but his return from battle was a difficult one.
We were a bunch of young men, 18 to 26. The excitement of what was going on and everything else, I took care of the situation where you just kept going. And then when you came home, you just, you fell apart. It was a nightmare, that's all I can tell you. Boy.
Harold and Lawrence also speak for their former companions. D-Day ended with 10,500 people either dead, wounded, or missing. 8 years after the Arab Spring, 2019 marks the return of popular revolts. In France, the Yellow Vest first started occupying roundabouts, then took to the streets of cities across the entire country. Protest movements are now springing worldwide, let it be against the high cost of living in Sudan, Iraq, and Lebanon, or to ask for a democratic transition in Hong Kong, Bolivia, and Algeria. In Chile, hundreds of thousands of demonstrators have been taking to the streets every day against the ultra-liberal economic model and the policies implemented by the ruling elite.
Like many Chileans, this middle-class family has gone into debt. Retirement, health, education, everything is privatized in Chile. With 4 children and no jobs, this couple owes the bank 270,000 euros.
We had to remortgage the house.
At the moment, I'm paying 50% of my debt, but the other 50%, I don't know when I'll get there.
1 in 3 households cannot afford to repay their loans to the bank. For the grandfather, the situation has deteriorated considerably.
Even dying has become too expensive in this country. You have to buy the location of your grave with loans, and if you don't pay your monthly payments, they dig you up and throw you in the mass grave. They even make money with the dead.
In Chile, the government finally gave in to the pressure of the street and put more than 5 billion euros on the table. But for demonstrators, it's too little too late. In Eastern Africa, the new drug route now passes through Kenya, as drugs can easily be smuggled through its long and poorly monitored eastern coastline. A well-honed international trafficking system.
This is a plastic paper. I'm doing the first wrapping. I'm doing the packing now for the people that are going to be swallowed. You got to know one thing. We make more money in Europe. For most traffickers, Europe is the best destination. Maybe 3 out of 5 trips goes through. If it is cocaine, I'm making 6,000 per kilo.
After wrapping, he has to test the balloons to make sure they're watertight. The stakes are high. If one breaks in his stomach, he'll die of an overdose.
The food I'm using
A mix of milk and soggy cereal helps him to more easily swallow the cocaine balloons.
You got to prepare the journey for a maximum of 12 hours. Because the digestion, when someone use food, it has a maximum time. The food can stay in the stomach for a maximum of 12 hours.
He can still have a hard time ingesting the product, even as an experienced mule.
Drug trafficking is increasing worldwide every year. In Kenya, it generates more than 100 million euros in profits. Libya has been mired in chaos since the ouster and killing of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. In the outskirts of Tripoli, Western militias are struggling to push back General Haftar's troops and are attacking from the east. Migrants from all over Africa who are desperately trying to reach Europe are caught in the crossfire. Almost on a daily basis, Libyan coast guards intercept these makeshift boats.
126 people, including 8 children. They've already spent 18 hours at sea.
جيب الطفل يا حسن جيب لنا الطفل بروحه انت بروحه يا حمار هي
This family of 10 is from the war-torn region of Darfur in Sudan. Their youngest child is 2 years old. We have to break the news they're being taken back to Libya.
ليش ما بدك ترجعي ليبيا؟
لقينا ما ناكل بالليل ما ناكل عوينا بنمشي بنشتغل بجي ما اكلنا نهاية الا جبناه بس ودفعناه جينا.
These migrants will still have to pay 400 euros to get out of Libyan detention camps. Starving and exhausted, they are the anonymous victims of Libya's civil war. The fate of these men and women will remain a major issue in the years to come. In 2020, like every other year, France 24 reporters will be at the heart of international news.
Thank you for watching this special edition of Reporters, and my special thanks also to Loïc Berrou and Stefan Bernstein, the executive and senior producers of this programme. From all of us here, best wishes for Christmas and the New Year. Stay with us.